Let's talk about the defense budget because the defense budget is now over $1 trillion. And as a kid, I would hear that and I'd be like, oh, sick, my country's spending over $1 trillion to defend me. That's awesome. And cutting the defense budget sounded scary because, like, does that mean we get off-brand missile defense systems? And does that mean our army has to be smaller? Like, what about the bad guys? But that's not how they're spending the money. We don't know how they're spending the money, and neither does the Department of Defense. When we give an agency money, we audit them. We basically say, hey, we gave you $1 trillion. Just tell us how you spent the money. The Department of Defense has never passed an audit. They have never been able to tell us where the money's actually going. Now, to be fair, the Department of Defense is a massive agency, so fully auditing everything is very difficult. And there have been specific parts of the Department of Defense that have passed audits, but overall, money disappears in the defense budget. A lot of money disappears in the defense budget. I'm not going to pretend to know fully where that money goes, but I have a pretty decent guess. Half of the defense budget spending is on private contractors, like private companies. And what happens a lot of the time is people retire from their positions at the Department of Defense and go to work for those private contractors. And because like 3 months ago, they were responsible for handing out the contracts, it's very easy to go to a company and immediately get a big contract. And because the Department of Defense is so big, they could get $1 billion. They don't really keep track of how you spend it, and you can get yourself a nice house, a little pay raise, and then you can make some tires for the army, right? Now, I don't want to make it seem like the DoD is just a money-making scheme. They do very important work. If we didn't have the Department of Defense, we wouldn't have a country. But we can cut their spending without becoming less safe by cutting out the waste, fraud, and abuse, which I thought was the goal, but it's starting to seem like it's not.